So, let's talk about intermittent fasting. You've seen it everywhere, right? Health blogs, celebrity interviews, it's one of the biggest wellness trends out there. But what's really going on inside your body when you fast? Let's get into the biology of it.
And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this a legitimate, science-backed tool for improving your health? Or is it just another fad that might have more risks than rewards? Well, we're going to dig in and break down the science.
All right, first things first, let's look at what's happening on a biological level. We're going to explore that potential chain reaction, the good stuff that can get kicked off inside your body when you strategically decide to skip a few meals.
Okay, at the very heart of this whole thing is something called the metabolic shift. Just think of it like this. Your body is switching its main fuel source. When you're constantly eating, it runs on glucose, sugar. But when you stop giving it that constant supply, it has to get creative. It flips a switch and starts burning your stored fat for energy instead. And that fundamental change is the key to almost all the potential benefits we're about to talk about.
And that metabolic shift, it can show up in some really big ways for your health. For starters, you're giving your pancreas a much-needed break from pumping out insulin all the time. This can actually help your body become more sensitive to insulin again, which is huge for controlling blood sugar. And from there, you can see a ripple effect, things like lower blood pressure, and of course, it can be a really powerful tool for managing your weight.
But that ripple effect keeps going. We're also seeing research that points to less inflammation all over the body, which, as we know, is a root cause of so many chronic diseases. Then there's evidence for better gut health, a more robust immune system, and maybe, just maybe, a longer, healthier life.
But, the effects aren't just physical. A lot of people who get into intermittent fasting really rave about the mental benefits. So what's the deal? Can it actually give you a sharper mind and help you sleep better? Let's take a look.
So, a lot of people report this feeling of incredible mental clarity. It's like cutting through that brain fog that can just ruin your day. Now, from a biological standpoint, this might be because when glucose isn't available, your body starts producing ketones, which can be a super efficient fuel source for your brain.
And this one just makes so much sense, right? When you don't eat right before bed, you give your digestive system a break. Your blood sugar levels have a chance to stabilize overnight, which can lead to a much deeper, more restorative sleep. No more tossing and turning while your body's busy digesting a late-night snack.
Okay, so we've talked up all the potential good stuff, but to be fair, we have to look at the other side of the coin. Because, let's be real, intermittent fasting isn't always easy. It comes with some real challenges, and it is definitely not the right choice for everyone.
Especially when you're just starting out, your body's going to need some time to adjust. And that adjustment period can be, pretty rough. We're talking about those classic signs of low blood sugar, feeling drained, getting headaches, and oh yeah, that dreaded hanger. When you're so hungry, you get angry. For some people, just trying to concentrate can feel like a huge battle at first.
And this is super important. There is a fine line between a beneficial fast and one that's actually harmful. If you push it too far, your body can go on the defensive. It might think it's starving, so it hits the emergency brake on your metabolism to conserve energy. This is often called starvation mode, and it's a real biological response to what the body perceives as a threat.
This really lays it out perfectly. The whole goal of a sustainable fasting practice is to create what's called metabolic flexibility, basically teaching your body to switch between burning sugar and burning fat without any drama. But extreme restriction, that does the exact opposite. It can freak your body out, causing it to slow everything down and hold on to fat for dear life, which is probably the last thing you want.
And this part is absolutely critical. Fasting can have a huge impact on our hormones. This means women, especially during life stages like perimenopause, really need to be careful. And for anyone who has a history of disordered eating, the whole idea of restriction can be a really dangerous trigger for unhealthy patterns. So caution is key here.
So after all that, where do we stand? We've seen the really compelling good stuff and some pretty serious risks. Let's pull it all together now and do a final weigh-in, putting everything side by side.
This table really sums it up, doesn't it? On one side, you have this amazing list of potential wins, from weight loss and better blood sugar to improved heart health. But on the other side, you've got to deal with those immediate side effects, like fatigue and hanger, not to mention the more serious long-term risks like hormonal issues. It's a classic trade-off.
So I think the main takeaway here is pretty clear. This is not some simple magic bullet. Intermittent fasting puts your body under a specific kind of stress. For some people, that stress is a good thing. It triggers positive changes. But for others, it can be harmful. It really all depends on you, your body, and how you approach it.
Which leaves us with one last big question, and this one is for you. Now that you've seen the biology, the metabolic shifts, the potential highs, and the very real lows, is intermittent fasting the right tool for your personal health journey? As we've seen, the answer is anything but simple.